Yeah!
Good morning, and welcome to another episode of Hard Factor, presented by the Barstool News Network. It is Florida Man Friday, February 21st, 2020. And guys, I got a couple of things before we get going. I want to thank everybody, first of all, for tuning in to our debate live stream, the pre-show and the post-show on Wednesday night. Hopefully you made some money with us, and big time shout outs to Rebecca, Danny, and Jay in Austin for running the video stream, Cam in Atlanta, and Tyler at Barstool HQ for running the social media. If you watched debate coverage with anybody else besides being in on Wednesday night, you fucked up big time, because we won money and laughed at Mini Mike all night long.
Yeah, it was a great night.
I had a good time.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Elizabeth Warren just body bagged him so bad.
Yeah, that's right. We'll get into a little bit more about how that's going to shake up the predicted markets in a bit. But enough politics for now. It's Florida Man Friday. We've got 8 wild stories for you. And I'll start us off with a very, what I would call a meta Florida headline, snake orgies. So...
That's a theme that I left out for genres. That's definitely a genre for Florida, like a common
Snake orgy?
Yeah, snake orgy.
I'm intrigued.
Absolutely.
Exotic animals, but yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. So this one came in from listeners Tyler and Joseph Kruger about a big problem going on in Central Florida earlier this week.
Yeah, I want to know where, when. I want all the W's.
I'll give you all
Why?
the details. And I think the guys, the snake orgies, you guessed it, that's the problem, the snake orgies. They're still going on, I believe. So the city of Lakeland closed off a section on the bank of a lake in a park after receiving reports that numerous snakes had swarmed the area. This is what the Parks and Rec say. They say, it appears they have congregated for mating, and they seem to do this yearly, unquote. And they said that on Facebook on Thursday. Well, it turns out that these snakes are actually harmless water snakes who are just banging all over the park, and they do it from midwinter to spring every year in Florida.
And the snakes they're taking multiple partners?
Well, I'm not. I didn't look up the specifics of the mating habits of the water snakes, but apparently, yes.
You never seen a snake orgy, Pat?
They just fuck in a big group.
Yeah, I mean, there's like 80 snakes just rolling on each other. So yeah, I'd say they take multiple partners.
Okay, I'm just curious. I
They
don't
all
know.
look alike.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's really racist. I think that
Snakist.
That's
Snakist, yeah.
Yeah, it's snakist. Excuse me. Okay, that's fine. I get it. Yeah, sorry, you guys have seen it. I
It's
haven't
called a snake orgy. It's not called a married couple. I
don't know.
Once a week sex.
I have also not seen it. I did see some pictures, though. The snakes were tightly coiled together, multiple snakes. So I would say, and also the fact that they call it an orgy, I'm guessing, yes, multiple partners for sure.
Yeah,
based
that
on
way
the
everyone.
pictures.
That way they just take care of each other's babies because no one knows exactly who belongs to who, right?
And then it becomes an egg. Like, how do you track that? Who the fuck's
know.
egg is whose egg? That's
science, man.
Yeah. Anyways, so these water snakes, completely harmless. They're actually native to Florida, so they're just doing their job out there. Probably been fucking in this park for millennia. But local worrywart Tim Newberry tried to ruin all the snakes' fun. He said on Facebook, here's what he said after the fact. When I originally made the post that there were multiple moccasins in that area, this was confirmed later that day by another city worker. My post was never intended to bring harm to or seek removal of the snakes. I was simply trying to make my friends that walk this lake aware of the snakes, and I'm amazed at the hate that this simple post has created. So basically, he tried to say they were a bunch of evil poisonous snakes, this guy, and get them all removed, but turns out no, he's just a worrywart.
I just wanted to be able to read books again outdoors without all the noise.
Yeah. He wanted to take his machine gun down there and shoot into a giant pile of snakes is what he really wanted.
Exactly.
I'd be terrified if I just rolled up on a snake
I
orgy.
mean, what do you expect when you go to Snake Orgy Park?
Yeah,
You expect to see
I don't know
snake
if it's
orgies.
called that, but if it is.
This guy, so he says it was confirmed
Right.
that day by another city worker. So this guy's supposed to know what is and is not a water moccasin. So anyways, thanks for creating the confusion, Tim. Other notable snake orgies occur in Narcisse, Manitoba in Canada. There's an annual orgy of red-sided garter snakes where tens of thousands of garter snakes emerge from their dens and they fuck for 10 straight days each spring. And
I bet that's the side that they're rubbing together is the red side.
It's like a Ibiza for snakes.
Exactly. Definitely the red side. That's when you know they're excited. Their red stripes get really like red rockety.
Is there snake porn?
No,
I don't know.
I mean,
There's
it
naked
would
chicks
be
with like
long.
pythons around their necks.
Were you
and
just
stuff.
trying to get one of us to admit to that?
No.
He just like looked around, gotcha.
I looked at you first to throw
Yeah,
Wes
yeah.
off.
Do you mean snakes fucking each other or people with snakes? Because if it's snakes fucking each other, it's a 10-day long film. So that's a long film. And talk about some
I'm
stand-up.
sure if you type in snake porn, it's just a guy with a hammer.
What
Yeah.
a deal.
It's Jake the snake banging somebody with a snake around his neck.
All right, guys, I got a weird one for you, and this one was submitted by Dylan, by the Risky Bisky, and by my wife. So what story could be so popular, and maybe someone else, so if I forgot you, I'm sorry. What story could be so popular? Is it more herpes monkeys? No. It's jars filled with preserved human tongues that were found underneath the floorboards of a Gainesville, Florida home. That's multiple jars.
That's a weird thing to find.
Yeah, not good.
Yeah, I mean the bodies. And if you're like a scientist, like human parts in jars is already weird. But once you start stashing it under floors, then it becomes really sketchy.
Yeah. Yep. That's kind of what I'm
So
going to
you
get
think
to.
it's like less bad if you keep your tongues out in the open?
in a lab.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
In like a sterile lab.
What? Hold on. Why did it? Why?
Okay, we're going to get to it. So the jars were found hidden in a crawl space under floorboards when a contractor was doing an inspection of the house's foundation and screamed, "What the fuck? What the fuck is this? What the fuck?"
I thought I'd seen it all, man. I'll be honest with you. I thought I'd seen it all.
When he quietly left the house and didn't say a word. He then reported
escaped the house.
Yeah, when he escaped the house.
I gotta get something from a truck.
He immediately reported what he found to authorities. Of course, some of the jars reportedly dated back to the 1960s. They were labeled like 1960s, and there were a lot of human tongues, like half a dozen jars, and each one had like several tongues, just as described by the detectives.
They call it a French kiss jar.
Yeah, I mean, yes, it's not good.
Think about it.
That's a nice way of putting it. The home was previously owned by Dr. Ronald Bauman, who was a University of Florida researcher, an oral pathologist, and current professor emeritus. Emeritus, yeah. I
Oh,
don't
so
know
he's
what the
like
fuck it is.
awarded. This guy was
Well, serial killers are smart. Bauman's ex-wife currently still lives at the house. No word on if she has her tongue or not. Gainesville.
But she's not talking.
Yeah, but she's not talking. Gainesville police said they were investigating the possibility that the tongues were related to work that the oral pathologist Dr. Bauman may have brought home. His work?
dead people.
Like Wes said, wouldn't it be in a lab?
Yeah.
If it's work related, certainly not hidden under floorboards, right?
Yeah, under a rug.
Yeah, Jorge Campos, chief inspector of the Gainesville Police Department, did say that Bauman apparently came into the tongues via research he did before he even arrived at the university, and that the professor planned to get back to them as part of research on thyroid and neck conditions.
Oh, I think he got to them.
Yeah,
I think he got to them
Get back to them.
often. I think he was probably taking the floorboards off his floor, checking
So
out
you're
those
telling
jars
me
of
this
tongues.
guy was just eating these tongues like slowly throughout the years?
I don't know what
No.
I don't know what he's doing with them. Or like just it sounds like trophies to me. I'm a little skeptical.
Is
but
there tongue jar porn?
yeah, I mean, I'm a little skeptical, but I've watched every episode of Criminal Minds and Mindhunters, and it sounds like trophies to me. He did divorce his wife in 1992, and it doesn't seem like he was at that house a lot. Look, I shouldn't be accusing someone that hasn't even been charged with a crime of being a serial killer. That's like very irresponsible journalism. It's just he had 6 tongues filled with human.
Yeah.
6 jars filled with human
I mean,
tongues.
that's hard to
In the
explain.
I mean, what
floorboards.
am I supposed to do here with the story? What am I supposed to do?
I think you're on the right path.
Okay, let's move on. Anyways, that's it for now.
Okay. Guys, Valentine's Day has always been hard for Florida man Travis Love. With a last name like Love, there's been a lot of pressure on Travis over the course of his sun-soaked life to live up to his namesake. And unfortunately for Travis, he still hasn't found his clutch. Because this particular Valentine's Day must have been extra hard for Love, because he really popped the clutch, getting into a shootout with his ex-girlfriend's boyfriend while attempting to break into their home.
That's fairly romantic.
Yeah, he must have been having a bad one. The victims...
Going after your ex-girlfriend's current boyfriend, but leaving her alone, just beefing with the guy.
Well,
You think so? Like, and going with, like, he was armed. I'm
Well,
assuming.
it's an insane romantic.
they were
but
both in the house.
Raising Arizona, romantic.
So the victims, both the ex-girlfriend and the new boyfriend, were sleeping on a couch when they woke to the sound of a lonely-hearted man breaking
I used
into
to
their
sleep
home.
on that couch.
Yeah. That's my couch. The male resident relied on his Florida elementary school training and immediately went for his firearm, while Love's ex-girlfriend hid her 3-month-old son in a bedroom.
Oh, come on.
Yeah. Love and the male victim got into an all-out gunfight with bullets striking the male victim's right calf, which is a shame.
That's
because that's one of the
irresponsible.
It's one of the most sacred parts of a Florida man's body canvas.
For sure.
You know, it's just a lot of surface area. It's flat. You can do some cool ink on that.
Probably damaged the tattoo.
Implants, probably.
Well, yeah. I hope there wasn't a piece of art on him already. Love and the woman had been dating for 5 years before this ended, and apparently Love has been calling the victims using different numbers once a week, saying things like, wait till I see you.
That's could have been romantic. Could have been wait till I see you.
Yeah, context. You're right. I read this. So
You don't know how
This guy
Can't
just
wait
got
till
what,
I see
got
you.
what was coming to him. I mean, he started a gunfight in a house with a 3-year-old.
Yep.
3-month-old. Was it his kid?
Not his kid. So
it's the other person.
he was also threatening the kid in the phone calls he was
wow.
making.
Oh, come on.
Yep. Well, Love got struck by bullets as well. And police said they followed a blood trail and found 2 bloody sandals, a live firearm round, and bloody footprints. That the bloody sandals is very Florida. That's something that investigators down there run into quite often.
And a poorly written note.
Yeah, see, Love's friend's mother, who was with Love before the incident, told police that Love had been honoring his Valentine's Day tradition of drinking liquor heavily before being asked to be dropped off at his ex-girlfriend's house so he could, quote, check on her. The woman dropped him off and then waited outside, and after about 10 minutes, she heard gunshots before Love returned to the vehicle, clutching the woman's pink handgun.
He probably promised he wasn't going to shoot anyone, too.
No, I know. Well, I'm assuming he probably swiped the pink handgun without the woman knowing, which honestly, that's just Travis Love for you. That's romantic. Getting into a Valentine's Day shootout with a pink handgun is the kind of touch you can expect from T Love. So he's in custody.
Good. All right, guys. Got one of my favorites. It's Fools That Work in Schools
All
time.
right, I love fools. That work in
Yeah,
schools.
I think Charles submitted this. If I'm wrong, please DM me. I'll make it right on the next show. And I have a message to every person listening right now, especially in Florida. If you want to become a teacher, especially a teacher of children around the age of, say, 6, you have to realize that they are fucking idiots and will misbehave and act a fool from time to time. If you can't handle that without rushing to call the police or principal, maybe teaching isn't for you.
Well, hold on, Wes. I think that's the opposite attitude that they want the teachers to have, that the children are idiots. And
No, that you need to realize that.
okay.
Yeah, it's
You
very
should,
Yeah,
important.
it's a good point.
Yeah, you should watch like Kindergarten Cop. Like
Yeah.
boys have pee-pees and girls have vagina,
Yeah,
and they
they're,
can't put
they're
the toys away.
unpredictable.
Yeah.
They run amok.
You
every
You
now
drive
and
yourself
again.
crazy if you expected adult behavior from children.
Exactly. And teaching certainly isn't for one idiot at Love Grove Elementary School who started the process of having a 6-year-old named Nadia, a 6-year-old with special needs, ADHD, and who is being tested for autism, sent to a mental institute, carted away by police after she could not handle the slightly overactive 6-year-old herself. So, according to reports, little Nadia was, quote, destroying school property, attacking staff, out of control, and running out of the school. Oh, no, I hope the staff and construction paper are okay. I bet the bruises and shreds of paper are severe, you fucks. And so what if she's running out of the school? Go get her ass. Call her mom.
Yeah,
Oh, wait.
slowly running out of school. What is she, a track star?
Right, exactly.
6 years old.
Yeah, send the janitor. That's
How
what we
tall
were
is
doing
she?
when kids would run
She's
out
got
of our
little
school.
legs.
Exactly. Someone easily could have caught her.
Yeah.
So maybe call her mom first, which actually, they did call her mom, Reginelle Reeves, after they were carting her daughter to the rubber room. And in the police body cam video taken as they escort the girl to their car, she is sweet, calm, and asking if she is going to jail. She sure isn't attacking
that's
anyone.
sad.
Yeah, she sure isn't attacking anyone. You see, she had what you might call a temper tantrum. Kids that age have them from time to time, and they can be quite a handful, but generally they pass. You see, the problem in Florida is this thing called the Baker Act. It's an act, and I'll just read word for word from the article I read. The Baker Act is basically allows people in authoritative positions like a police officer, a judge, or mental health professional to throw your ass in the rubber room if they claim you are a danger to yourself or others or are mentally ill.
Oh, man. Lots of people like to abuse the Baker Act. I'm
Absolutely, especially teachers like this and don't want to handle little 6-year-olds. And in Florida alone, between 2017 and 2018, over 36,000 kids under the age of 18 were thrown in mental facilities due to this fucking act.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
This school is just a constant battle of like who has more kids in the classroom, the actual school or the insane asylum.
Right.
They just keep passing them back and forth.
Right.
I bet that's a huge number. I bet word got around in like teachers' Facebook groups. It was like, oh, he's acting up. You Baker ass his ass.
They
You
use
Baker
it-
act him.
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna Baker. I'm gonna Baker him.
Hey, that kid, you just Baker that motherfucker. See if he ever comes. Well, if he comes back, see if he
That's
talks
fucked
back
up.
to you.
Yeah, so the Baker Act is basically a long timeout when you act up. It's also a go-to for lazy teachers when 6-year-olds act up, and it's all up in the school protocol bullshit. So that's what they hide behind every time they make a horrible decision. Even the cops carting her away know the Baker Act, what the Baker Act really is. When the female cop says, "quote, she's been actually very pleasant," and then the male officer responds, "I think it's more of them not wanting to deal with it," and that's pretty much a bullseye. Of course, the mom of young Nadia is not happy, has an attorney, and basically said, what the fuck? Parents should get first dibs at taking their kids from school before they're carted away like criminals.
Right.
She also said maybe a quick phone call to mom could have calmed her down. But these fucking fools that work in schools didn't think of that because they are lazy losers.
I already this calendar year should have been Bakered twice if it's based off of temper tantrums. I'm averaging a good tantrum a month.
I remember
Yeah.
the champagne one.
Yes, there was another one. We won't get into it.
Sometimes you got a tantrum, get it
Yeah.
out.
I'm all about the Baker Act for police or whatever, but for children, come on. Like,
A
yeah,
6-year-old?
no, you go to the parent first. That's ridiculous.
Yep.
Oh man.
So that's that.
Wow.
Hopefully
All
they
right.
get sued.
Well, back to politics for just 1 second, boys, because we need to talk about our bets from the debates and our presenting sponsor and favorite cash cow, Predict It, the stock market of politics. Go to predictit.org/promo/hardfactor20 to get your first $20 matched on us. And if you're not betting with us this year, what the fuck are you doing? Because we are on an unbelievable heater right now. We're like 80% in 2020. And these aren't all favorites. Mark's hitting big wagers all over the board. Pat's pulling off multiple long shots a week. And Wes, who knows who's in second place in every
Wes is
election,
Wes.
10 weeks ahead of the election, you're winning money. All right.
Yeah,
And,
I'm up. I'm definitely up.
Electable hit last night.
Yeah.
You son of a gun.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Big hits. And I got us in early on the Bernie nomination and the Fade Bloomberg technique, and those are all paying off. But we petered out a little bit last night, guys. I rewatched the pick stream because we're considering to do a recurring picks show, and so I wanted to
What
see
is
how that
only pick show?
right,
Like,
only picks like on
it
top of the
wouldn't-
podcast.
It would
right.
not be the Monday through Friday podcast.
No.
It would be a standalone
This is
show.
extra stuff. So we're looking back and we're doing the research. And basically, Pat, you told me you didn't remember how you did during the post show last night.
Here we go.
But I went back and I crunched the numbers, but you went over besides the electability that Wes talked you into.
Did I go 0 for Will?
Besides the electability, yeah.
Did I?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, and you did it with
I
such-
didn't because I'm a maven I'm a maven
Well,
on the
so
court, and I'm dumping.
You may have dumped your stocks, but your picks pre-show were over, and so you did this with such bravado. Here's some of the best quotes from the cast. If you missed it,
man.
Catch the virus, Pat said.
I did say
About
that.
how many times virus would be said in a frenzy of coronavirus discussions.
That line got me.
Catch the virus.
Wes wagered
You caught
that.
a beatdown. You caught
Yeah,
an
I did.
L.
Luckily, I didn't put that much in it.
Yeah. Pat said, quote, I don't think they will mention Donald Trump tonight, unquote, from a listener submitted question.
Right.
There was
Not a real
potentially-
market, doesn't count.
Potentially 200 mentions. Quote, I am the number 51 ranked gambler on Predict It, unquote.
I was
This-
yesterday.
This is important. Directly to Mark, quote, let's see whose stack is higher at the end of the night. Let's see who's higher in the rankings, unquote. To all of us, quote, I am not an idiot. I know my shit, unquote. and then the pre-show ended with you pointing at yourself repeatedly and saying, quote, who's the big winner tonight? Oh, unquote. And then you went over. So how are you doing today? How's your bank account?
The end of the night was interesting.
Yeah, he was not happy.
Better than yours, Will. I didn't go over because you can't apply normal gambling rules to my picks because it's not binary. It's
you
not
better
black
than
and
mine.
white.
I went 4 for 5. You definitely didn't do better than mine.
Well, yeah. So you won what? $7 with what you're wagering? Like what is it? Like six a band?
Hey,
You throw down
it's
six.
about
six
getting them
figures?
right, Pat. It's about getting them right, not bragging and talking. Well, no
Let's move
worries.
on.
Somehow we're still winning in 2020, and you have 2 good picks yourself coming up with Warren Warren in second place in Nevada. I think she did more to help herself last night or on Wednesday night at the debate.
I like that too.
And Steyer not in the top 3. So let's look at who's going to finish second place in Nevada right now. Joe Biden, 37, Pete Buttigieg, 33, Liz Warren, 19. I think Warren's the best value there. What do you guys think? Pat, you already picked Warren.
They're all really good value.
I wasn't listening. What's the question?
Yeah, who's the best value? I think
Second
Warren is.
Nevada.
Oh, I think Warren's going to do well.
19 cents for Warren, 37 for Biden, and 33 for Buttigieg.
I still like Buttigieg, though. I like Buttigieg for a second. Also, that Steyer tip about not finishing the top 3, we gave it at 70 cents. It's already up to 86 cents.
Yeah,
so if you got in, you can sell at 86 cents.
Yeah.
That's 16 cents profit per share. It's nice.
Yeah. And then we're on track with our Bernie pick to win Nevada and the nomination, it's looking like, and the Bloomberg fade. Those are all stuff we've given out in the past. Also, South Carolina, Mark's on Bernie. That's looking like a coin flip right now. But let's go to the next coin flip, Virginia, which is a Super Tuesday coin flip on March 3rd. Yep. I'm in on Bernie at 47 cents. The next closest is Bloomberg at 30, then Biden at 19. What are you guys thinking here? I think that's a good return on Bernie.
Bernie.
I mean, after the debate, anyone that votes for Bloomberg is just out of their fucking mind.
Yeah, or really talks to him in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, I'd say Bernie for Virginia at 48 cents or whatever it is. I like it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a double up. It's better than a double up. So go to predicted.org/promo/hardfactor20 to get your first $20 matched on us in the stock market of politics. It's extremely fun. It makes following the news amazing. So go do it.
Who's got the biggest stack? This one's from @_Losner. What's your favorite nursery rhyme, guys?
Red Rosie,
Humpty Dumpty,
Red Rover.
That's
Red
a good
Rover?
one.
Yeah.
No, that's not a nursery rhyme.
That's a
Red
game.
Rover, that's a game.
What? That's a nursery rhyme.
Red
Well,
Rover,
you were an
Red
only
Rover,
child,
send...
so you thought it was a nursery rhyme, but as a game we were all playing.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know the difference.
Wes, do you have a favorite nursery rhyme?
I'm kidding.
Off the top of my head, Itsy Bitsy Spider.
All right. I was hoping someone would say Hansel and Gretel, but fine.
Also not a nursery rhyme, it's a fairy tale.
Yeah.
A fairy tale. What's your favorite fairy tale?
Oh my god, dude.
Man,
Same
Pat
thing.
knows
Hansel,
everything today.
Shrek.
Someone say Hansel and Gretel.
Hansel and Gretel's my
All
favorite.
right, good. This story might replace Hansel and Gretel a generation from now as the greatest Florida nursery rhyme of all time. Fairy tale. Greatest Florida fairy tale of all time. And that's because 19-year-olds David Dobbins and Christopher Rochelle, or David and Christopher, left a trail of breadcrumbs for the cops after committing armed robbery. Back in January of this year, they meticulously planned out an armed robbery wearing blue surgical gloves, and they were armed with guns. They jumped over the counter in a surprise robbery and even tied up the employees with zip ties before they could hit any alarms or use any phones, and they didn't harm anyone, and they even cased the place the day before, and all their hard work paid off. Yeah, they did really good. All their hard work paid off as they made off with $320,000 worth of stuff.
It's like Point Break meets Pain and Gain. I
Right.
love it.
But once they got away, they started to get a little careless. By the way, this is like a reverse Hansel and Gretel moral wise. The people leaving the breadcrumbs are like the bad guys.
Oh, okay.
But it's like Florida version. So you'll see it right here is what they did is while they were driving away, they started to discard some of the stolen good particles they didn't need anymore or want, and that was empty pill bottles. Because you see, David and Christopher robbed a pharmacy and stole $320,000 worth of opioids, and then dumped all the opioids into bags, like trash bags, and threw all the pill bottles all the way home. Detectives started following the pill bottles.
Get rid of that one now.
Yeah, detectives literally went from the pharmacy and followed a trail of pill bottles all the way to their house, directly to their house, where they found the car that was seen on the footage fleeing, the white Chrysler 200, and then they found a pill bottle leading from the car all the way into the front door of the house, and like
They were
white cotton
partying
pill bottles.
hard, man.
Yeah. Well, no. Yeah. I mean, yes, exactly.
You're not even like caring where your pills are going. You're just
No,
like,
well, they put them all in garbage bags because they were going to distribute them, which was one of the charges they got arrested with. Because when they got in the house, they found two guys, David and Christopher, or whatever, that matched the description of the robbers from the people that were robbed at the pharmacy. And then they found on David's phone a video of them bragging about how they now had a bed full of white plastic baggies filled with opioids that they were going to sell. So pretty much just all laid out for
they're
them.
littered
Literally.
out in the yard too.
Yeah. When the sheriffs arrived at the door, they said that David and Christopher refused to speak to them. But I think, like Will said, I think they couldn't speak to them, probably because they were just incredibly high on an elephant-sized portion of opioids.
Yeah, they're floating in air.
Yeah.
This can't be the first time the police have seen this.
Well,
No,
they're probably
definitely
like
not.
that's probably the first thing is they're like, is there a breadcrumb bottle of
Yeah, I know.
Pill bumps.
It's in the handbook there. All right, guys, if there's one thing I know about sex offenders, it's that they hate not being able to sexually offend. Committing sexual offenses is like their favorite thing. Problem is, once they get caught, they have to register as a sex offender for the rest of their life, which can really interfere with them chasing their dreams. So when police finally caught up with a Pensacola man who hadn't taken care of that pesky sex offender registration process, it's understandable that the man ran. After all, his pursuit of happiness was on the line. And the police must have really gotten the jump on this sex pest because he seemingly had nowhere to run except for up. And like a scared cat, he scaled a 365-foot tall radio tower in an attempt to evade officers.
another radio tower guy. I love these stories.
Yeah.
But they're so short-sighted.
Well, Will,
Yeah.
you think that. And at first I was confused at this move because I thought, he's not going to be able to get away.
Sure.
And then I realized, oh, shit, he was probably climbing the tower to get a better view of people that he could sexually assault.
Yeah.
But then
That makes sense.
But then it turns out it was a foggy day, and he climbed right through the fog like a fucking Looney Tunes character. So it was pretty smart, actually.
He disappeared.
He disappeared up there. That's
That is
really
pretty
cool,
cool.
right? He's
That's
up
cool.
above the clouds. It's pretty cool, huh?
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Where'd he go?
Yeah, and there the man remained for 7 hours, climbing up and down the tower, narrowly avoiding live wires.
Bet I could look like this pole.
I can really see my next victim from up here. Eventually, he came down, was taken into custody. Turns out the man was first approached by police in a homeless encampment where he lived, which makes him fleeing all the more confusing. I feel like when it comes to having your neighbors having to tell your neighbors that you're a pederast, knocking on tents and cardboard boxes is probably the best possible
You can
scenario.
just shout
Yeah,
it once
but-
and you're done.
Yeah, it's like
The thing about it is they think about this. Think about the havoc that a sexual predator could wreak on a homeless camp. I mean, there's like no rooms or anything. So
well, but
Yeah.
they like rooms, and also everyone in the camp could, but probably a large portion of the camp are sharing his problem. You know what I mean? So it's just like, I'm a sexual predator. It's like, me too.
Yeah,
Welcome
no,
to the club. Anyway, that's that one.
That's a depressing ending. To that
Oh,
story.
okay. So what happened actually is that he registered and he reformed.
Okay.
And then
There you
he's
go.
never sexually offended again, guys.
Fairy tale.
And he
ending.
found a house, and so did the rest of the
Nursery
homeless
rhyme-
people in
nursery
Florida.
rhyme ending.
And the Sacklers went to jail, and the opioid problem in Florida is fixed. So
Perfect.
wow.
Yeah. Doesn't sound like Pat did very well last night on the gambling.
I did just fine.
All right, guys, let's move on. Last story of the day. This one comes from @SunglassQueen, Joseph Kruger and Zach Johnson. Thank you. Guys, Florida native Stefan Short loves steak. He loves steak so much that he regularly shoplifts from the Save-A-Lot in Deland, Florida. But this past Friday night...
That's saving too much.
Yeah. Yeah. He
Not
saves a lot.
enough if you ask him.
Yeah, he saves too much. But this past Friday night, when Stefan went to the store to pick up his Friday steaks, it didn't turn out as he wanted it to. So when shoppers saw Stefan stuffing the steaks down his pants, they alerted the store manager, who already had his eye on Stefan. And when he confronted Stefan to ask him why he keeps stealing steaks from him, Stefan took off. But a civilian was there to help the manager subdue Stefan. But being the wiggle master that Stefan is, he was able to escape by escaping his clothes. And when police arrived, they
He always has an extra pair of clothes.
He was wearing a tearaway
He wiggled
warm-up
right out.
suit.
That'd be
wiggled right out
hilarious
of those
if
clothes.
you had like a scheme where you wore super baggy clothes just so
Yeah.
somebody grabbed you, you could jump out.
You're always like Vaselined up underneath.
Yeah, like a cartoon. There's holding empty clothes.
Yeah, fake hands for the cuffs. These aren't even real hands. You just slide right out.
So when police arrived, they were greeted by naked Stefan running out of the store. And when the naked man didn't come to his senses after they requested him to stop, they shot him with a taser.
He's just covering his genitals with steaks.
Well, Pat, he didn't cover him well enough because one of the taser prongs hit him right in the jennies. And I mean, it's just a great scene. You arrive at the Save-A-Lot to pick up some milk when you come across Stefan wrestling naked with two dudes with steaks scattered around them. Then Stefan runs out of the store and the cops shoot him in the dick with a taser. As Large would say, this is bucket list shit right here. Anyway, Stefan is in jail being held without bond, all for some $41 steaks that he really needed but didn't want to pay for. And I would have felt bad for him if he was like stealing peanut butter and jelly or something. But this guy was stealing steaks. So no sympathy here for Stefan.
That's your favorite food.
There's no way that jail's going to be able to hold Stefan. He'll be out. He'll be escaped in a day or two.
Right.
Stefan Steaks is what they call him
Yeah,
now.
he's gonna wiggle right through those bars.
Got any steaks?
Anyway, I hope his junk heals okay.
You guys cooking steak?
Yeah, no one deserves to get shot in the dick over $41 worth of.
No, not at all. That's just, and I bet they fucking aimed for it too. And
Oh God!
Well, yeah, I mean, he wiggled out of custody over $41 worth of steak. So in the cops' minds, they're like, "Fuck this guy." He's making
Yeah,
off.
exactly.
Teach him a lesson,
right,
Right
yeah.
in the Jennies.
And finally, from Noah, a pit bull stayed with a kid who was lost in the woods in Florida until police arrived and protected it from the bugs. Good job, pit bull. Looks like he's mixed with a little lab to me. Hard to tell. Thanks, though, Noah. And that's going to do it for Hard Factor. Hope you all are doing better in your predicted bets than Pat is this week. Remember, we have a voicemail, 512-270-1480.
Is Pat editing this show? Because
I bought you guys all fucking dinner this week.
It might be a short show if Pat's editing this.
512-270-1480. So call us. We miss you. What's up? Subscribe on YouTube, Facebook. Follow us on Insta and Twitter. Buy some fucking merch. Spread the word. Mail us money if you feel like it. We have no shame. We love you guys. Be safe out there. We will see you Monday. And most
They have
importantly,
Venmo these days.
what's that?
They have
Venmo.
Venmo these days.
Venmo. Yeah, we'll accept Venmo. Most importantly,
our Venmo is at Pat Cassidy.
yeah.
He needs
That's
it
our
for the
group Venmo.
predictive bets.
All right. Anyway, have a great fucking day and weekend.
Oh, yeah!